If you're watching this video, it's possible that procrastination is a frequent challenge in your life. In my case, many of my problems arose due to procrastination, when we stop doing what needs to be done and put things off. This results in a series of problems, such as decreased productivity, the emergence of anxiety and avoidance of responsibilities. The worst of all is the constant feeling of not doing what you should. Stoics, such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, were greatly concerned about procrastination. Stoic philosophers who faced multiple responsibilities in their lives could not afford to procrastinate. While it's not easy, it's important to resist instant gratification and strive to take action. I talk more about this in depth in my video on discipline, and I recommend you watch it after completing this video. Discipline and avoiding procrastination are complementary, although challenging, tasks. If you want to change, start being more productive and have control over your mind and actions. Overcoming procrastination will contribute to your happiness. Acting responsibly will bring a sense of peace with yourself. It is surprising that Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and historical philosopher, had the same hours in the day as we do to carry out his various tasks. He was able to govern a vast empire, be a philosopher, a writer, take care of his wife, create laws, attend trials, lead armies, and guide the Roman people, all without falling into vices or temptations. The key to Marco Aurelio's success was in his routine and habits. He transformed his responsibilities into something essential, incorporating them into his daily life. Just as we need to eat, wash and sleep, Marcus Aurelius made his responsibilities a fundamental part of his existence. All great thinkers, including Aristotle, understood that we are shaped by what we repeatedly do. Excellence, for Marco Aurelio, was not an isolated act, but rather a habit. His day started early, at dawn, with no time to stay in bed. He wrote in his diary to organize his thoughts, aware that he was rising to do the work of a human being. Marcus Aurelius tackled his most important responsibilities first, focusing on them when he was most rested and ready to work. He understood that people around him could be disrespectful and unappreciative, but he did not allow this to affect his judgment and happiness. Doing the right thing was crucial to him, and this approach contributed to his success and personal fulfillment. Act as if you were an important Roman, said Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations. As evidenced in his routine, there is no room for procrastination. I'm sure you're wondering, how can I act like Marcus Aurelius and overcome procrastination? How can I mentally prepare myself and what habits should I adopt? Don't worry, below, I'll explain 7 strategies that have personally helped me avoid procrastination. I will divide these tips into 2 parts. The first will cover mental preparation to avoid procrastination, and the second will deal with the actions we can take to overcome it. First, change your focus. Procrastination is a luxury in the modern world, as we postpone tasks because we can afford it. Ask someone who doesn't have enough to eat if they've ever procrastinated. Most of us live relatively comfortably in this sense. Therefore, it is necessary to increase the sense of urgency when dealing with our responsibilities. When we procrastinate and have a deadline to meet, we end up doing everything on the last day. When the deadline approaches, laziness disappears, we become productive and act as needed, all due to a sense of urgency. Set your own deadlines for fulfilling responsibilities. This will increase your urgency to work and help you overcome procrastination. To ensure you meet the deadline, consider sharing your goal with a family member or friend. Telling someone that they will have to give money if they don't complete the task before the deadline can be an effective incentive. Second, avoid low-level distractions. Typically, when we procrastinate, the actions that replace what we should be doing are low-level distractions. Low-level distractions refer to activities that do not add value and, often, we realize that we are wasting time, suffering because we are not doing what we should. In addition to not being helpful, these distractions are not fully appreciated. You would enjoy them more if you left them until after you have fulfilled your responsibilities. Third, reorganize your responsibilities. Some tasks are difficult or take a lot of time, which can be overwhelming and cause anxiety, leading to procrastination. The solution is to reorganize these responsibilities. Break long or challenging tasks into smaller parts and focus on each part as a single, shorter, and more manageable task. If the question is whether you can work uninterruptedly for 5 hours, the answer is likely no. However, if the question is whether you can work for an hour without distractions, the likelihood of success increases. Applying this logic to long or difficult tasks makes it easier to focus on responsibilities. So you can overcome procrastination. First, take the initial step. Every procrastinator knows the difficulty of starting a task. Once started, the most challenging part is overcome, forcing yourself to start without thinking about the time it will take or the difficulty of the task. Simply take the first step, the most difficult but also the most crucial, which will drive the next steps. Second, recognize that being a procrastinator has its advantages. Once the task has begun, the resistance to interrupting grows, as it is known how difficult it will be to start over. The 5-second rule is related to this point. Counting from 0 to 5 clears your mind, allowing you to begin the task without hesitation. This trick helps overcome hesitation by providing a simple method to act without thinking twice. Third, use the Pomodoro technique to divide your work time into more manageable segments. Tackling tasks becomes easier when time is divided into periods of 25 minutes of work followed by 5 minutes of rest. By performing 4 of these Pomodoros, enjoy a longer rest of 20 minutes. This method promotes intense concentration during work periods, making tackling tasks more manageable. Fourth, eliminate distractions. Our brain looks for the easiest way out, so remove any objects that might divert its attention. Create a distraction-free work environment, making procrastination difficult. Identify and eliminate barriers that impede focus, making it more difficult to put off completing the task. What did you think of these strategies to avoid procrastination? I await your response in the comments. Remember, discipline and a willingness to change are essential to effectively implement these tips. Here are 2 videos full of Stoic wisdom that you will certainly appreciate. To the next.